So this is what this dialogue and conversation is about. With that in mind, the word crazy that has been weaponized, that has been used in comedy and in real life, come up a lot when people talk about it. And it's used to demonize us as Black people often because we don't function to the normative behavior or normative ways. And quite honestly, I know the word has been demonized. I still decide to reclaim the word, redeem the word. There is something crazy about talking about a man we've never met. There is something crazy about believing in a God we've never seen, right? So there is something almost what people would say insane or out of our mind to do so. And for me, that's my faith response. But there's still some real conversations, concrete conversations need to have about one's wellness and the spectrum and the ways people receive us. So with that being said, Dr. Kemp, let's talk about this word crazy or mad that does show up in the Bible and then is used against us. And my first reference, I'm sure it's not the first time it shows up in the Bible, but my first reference of thinking about when David pretends to be crazy in his plan to get away from trouble and to survive a perceived attack.
Right. Yeah, and I think part of when we think about craziness or madness or mental illness, and there are two things we do biblically that I hope that we'd be responsible about. Number one is because the Bible does not use DSM-5 categories, doesn't mean it's not describing DSM-5 behaviors and challenges. So the question of mental health and well-being is not new to the human species, and therefore is not new to Scripture nor God's interventions as Scripture records it. So I think it's important, and certainly in the work that my wife and I have done together, or seeking to partner with other churches as well, is mental health is not an extra biblical issue. It's not something that's tangential to your faith. It's something that's a part of what the Bible describes. So we are not adding on to it or detracting from your faith. We're simply expanding our understanding of what our faith means, what the Bible means, and how it applies in our Christian context. So that's the first thing. The second thing, when you brought up the example of David playing mad in that First Samuel, the Hebrew word halal is the root there. And then what's interesting is how it gets used as yitalel, is that it's strategic and it's a response to threat.